Hello, I'm Paul,
And I'm Scott.
and welcome to DC.
I'm proud.
Happy New Year, everyone, and welcome back to the DC and Proud podcast. This is the first episode of our Superman Lives and Dies season. Scott, are you very excited?
I'm very excited. It's 2024. I'm so ready.
Yes, 2024. We got some DC films coming this year, haven't we? What we got? We got this Joker, Folie à Deux.
Yes. Which, the more images I see, the more excited I am to see it.
Yes, exactly. Excited to see what happens there.
However, I still haven't seen Aquaman.
I haven't seen Aquaman either, so maybe we'll just
Maybe we
end
should
up-
do that.
We'll come to it before we know it. Suddenly we'll be like doing the Aquaman season.
That's true.
But we got some great animated films coming this year, and I think we might cover them. We'll see. I might make it part of the season.
Okay.
We should see what happens. But today, we're kicking off the Superman Lives and Dies season. Yes, it's the season where we're tackling loads of different lives of Superman, plus some deaths as well. Many different iterations. But we're starting off with 1951's Superman and the Mole Men.
There are many films in our section for this that I haven't seen, so this will be quite interesting.
Oh,
me,
this
I
is
think.
good.
Yeah.
I'm glad we got to something.
Yes.
Where you can actually get some fresh
This one in
watches.
particular.
Yeah. So, Superman and the Mole Men is from 1951 and it's directed by Lee Sholem. And it stars George Reeves as Superman and Phyllis Coates as Lois Lane. It's got a plot description of when underground beings explore the surface world from a deep oil well and inadvertently cause a panic, only Superman can prevent a tragedy.
And I have thoughts on that already.
Have you got some facts about this film, Scott?
We have got some little facts. According to the director, both Phyllis Coates and George Reeves were knocked cold on the same day in fights involving stuntmen.
They got knocked out.
I don't remember the stunts being that bad. Really.
Yes, neither do I. Where were they having fight? Maybe by the townspeople, the angry mob.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only bit I can think
Yeah,
of.
that's the only thing I can think of. Weird.
Kirk Eileen, who played Superman in Superman 1948 and Atom vs. Superman in 1950, was originally planned to reprise his role, but he wanted too much money.
Oh, greedy man.
Greed. This is the first of only 3 live-action theatrical Superman films not to feature his arch nemesis, Lex Luthor. Do you know what the other 2 are?
No, go on.
Spider-Man 3. Why Spider-Man 3? That's not right. Superman 3.
I was thinking he's a Spider-Man. That confused the hell out of me.
Dear. So the others are Superman 3 and Man of Steel.
True. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So there you have it.
How about mix it up, people? Come on, the next Superman film. Oh, there's going to be Lex Luthor.
This looks like he's already
We already
cast.
know. I mean, he's part of the world. It's like having no Joker
What's
in the
his
film.
face?
It's what's his name? Nicholas Hoult. Nicholas
yes.
Hoult. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about this film though.
Cool. I'm ready.
So it's very different to anything we've watched
So far,
Yeah.
yes.
It's very like a classical film, especially with the music and everything. It's like very orchestral and
I mean, I think the thing you have to think about with films at this time, they use their music and their score to up everything so much.
up in emotion.
Because I noticed there's a lot of chasing and running around in this film, and I feel like it's there because of the score.
Yeah.
It's like the score came first and the film went on top.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I kind of see what you mean. Yeah.
So,
I mean, when Superman's flying off.
yeah.
I mean, can I tell you something? Before we got into this film, I thought the flying was pretty decently well done.
I mean, he was flying a bit low.
He was
when
flying low, but like when he takes off, it's quite like it actually looks like he's taking
Yeah,
off.
for the 1950s. I
Yeah,
give you that,
1950s.
yeah.
I thought it was pretty
Because you
well
never
done.
actually see him in the sky.
No, you see like the pavement.
Yeah, you see his view down, but he's also flying backwards.
Is he? Why is
So-
he flying backwards?
Because the camera is like going. So if you're going right, he's flying right.
Yeah.
But the camera is from behind going this way,
Oh yeah.
left to right.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
that's not his view.
I don't know.
Yeah.
What are you doing, Superman? He can fly whatever way he wants.
Exactly, you
It's
could do whatever he wants.
fine. So I think the best way to go through this film is just go through the plot. It's probably
Fine.
the easiest way, and just discuss little plot points as we go along. Just to get the intro to this film, we basically come along an oil well that's being dug, and then for some reason they want to bury the tools because something very secret's happening.
Yes.
And
Top report has been sent. And
yes, the top report has been sent. But basically, we find out. Yes, it's because they found something underground. Do you know what they are? They're mole men.
Mole men.
Very big-headed mole
men.
men. What do you think about the look of the mole men?
Do you know, it reminded me of the Coneheads.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was expecting more mole-like, I think.
Yes.
They just
have like hairy hands.
Yeah, hairy hands, big eyebrows. I mean, that's all the thing now, isn't it? So I just
It's
and
true.
like the little bump for a head, but they were bald, so I don't. It would, yeah. But it's
Very odd look.
It's the 50s.
It's the 50s. We forgive them for it. What I did like was them saying, well, this was what Lois Lane said. They've done a well 6 miles down.
Yeah.
That's almost the middle of the earth.
Centre of the earth.
It's like, it's definitely not.
And then at one point, I think they said the centre of the earth is hollow, and I was like,
Full of
I
mo-
don't think
it's full of moles.
I don't think you've gone that far down, really, to be honest. I mean,
6 miles.
6 miles is probably Batman's cave from 1989 all the way down. So come on, hun.
Maybe there was mole men down there.
Maybe
That's what was down there.
was.
We finally realised. But it's very charming being this kind of in like a 50s film. It's
Yeah.
quite charming to find a Superman film this age. I mean, the effects, yeah, it might be a little bit like shoddy. The character design might be a little bit shoddy, but it's quite charming.
In the same way, I think that Batman 1966 has that charm.
Yeah,
But even though this is black and white,
yeah,
you can picture the colour of the suit,
yeah.
even though
yeah,
you can't see it.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's in the same fabric as.
It's like you fill it in yourself. Kind
yeah,
of thing. Yeah.
it's the same fabric and look as the Batsuit from 1966. And I mean, firstly, I think. I don't know if it should be Superman and the Mole Men. It should be like Clark Kent,
Clark Kent and the Mole Men.
Men.
Especially like when it gets to like, I swear it gets to about halfway and it's like, so where's Superman?
Oh shit! We forgot. We need to put
We need to
Superman
put
in it.
Superman in this. It's not just Clark Kent investigating. And if we're talking about like the characterization of Clark Kent, he's not this kind of fumbling around.
No,
kind of.
no,
That's part of his. That's almost part of his like
Charm.
his well, the charm of it, but also his secret identity.
Yeah, that
Because
he's
it's
clumsy.
like, yeah,
and
and it's like, oh, this guy could never be Superman. He's so clumsy, but he's just the same as
Yeah,
Superman.
Yeah, and yeah, I agree.
I like when I was thinking, will they do this trait? And they kind of did, although they kind of subvert it later down the line. When Lois Lane first sees the Mole Men after we find the death of this old man, and she's like, no one believes her.
No,
It's like, this woman's hysterical.
This woman is just nuts.
She's hysterical. What does she talk about? There's no such thing as Mole Men. I was like, classic.
It's
classic trope.
That before, literally just before that, before she gets on the phone, it's them talking about how the oranges got on the floor.
Yes.
That's a good point, Lois, but how did the bag get all the way over there? And it was just, I was like,
You sound like Adam West then. That was Adam West vibes I was getting from you.
Yeah, thank you.
It's true. And they find this man, and it's like, you're not too shocked.
Yeah,
Like maybe at first you were shocked, but I was like, this is a dead man.
There's a dead body in front of you.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's not that shocking. We see him every day as these very executive news reporters.
Yes.
Pop was his name. Pop is dead.
Pop is dead.
What did you think of the? I mean, it doesn't hold up because it only happens in this scene.
Right.
But when they close all the windows, it's like, look at the soil. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
it's like radiating. It's like this. It's like nuclear or something.
That's the same with that. Oh my god, what's that machine in 1966 with the separates the sound?
Yeah.
It's that kind of like gimmicky kind of.
Yeah.
Look at our technology, 1950s. Look what we
It's
could
glowing. It's glowing.
do. And then everything glows.
Yeah, and it's like it doesn't even matter. It's in the dark. It was clearly only when the lights are off and in the darkness that it glow. Apparently not. When it could just do it in daytime as well.
A ball.
Yeah, the ball. I mean, so when we're thinking,
When they lie on the floor and they've just got like an outline of their body.
it's like not when they're walking all the time. You can't see it when
There's
they're
no
walking.
footprints anywhere.
No. But I was thinking in the first portion of this film. So what are these mole men doing? What is their plan? And they're just walking around this radiating whatever they're radiating.
They're not walking around. They're slinking around.
Yeah,
they're
slinking
literally
around.
just like creeping like.
They should have some like Looney Tunes music
Yeah.
going along with them. And then suddenly, they're looking in a little girl's window, and I was like, "What are these mole men
Yeah,
doing?
yeah.
What are these creepy looking mole men doing?"
And like she's so polite about it. She's like, "Hello,"
Yes.
and then he kind of creepily like gets on all fours and climbs in,
Like, "Meh, I'm coming for you."
and then they just want to play ball.
And at this moment as well, he's like, "Okay, so as far as we know, these mole men are nuclear right now," and I was like, "This little girl's dead. This little girl's dead. So she's got cancer everywhere."
I don't think they have the vindictive to do that in the 1950s to a kid in cinema.
Maybe that's why they subverted it with the end, saying, "Oh, it's glow in the dark. It was glow in the dark all along.
Yeah.
It was iridescent."
Iridescent. Great word.
Thank you.
And like when her mum came in, she did that classic 1950s 60s scream.
Yeah.
It's just like you hear in like every bad slasher film and stuff like that. It's just so good that everyone could hear.
Yes. They were trying to find where these mole men were, but it's just next door. Apparently, they're just next door. It's fine. You can hear the woman scream. I did feel kind of sorry because you kind of realise at this point that okay, the mole men are not actually doing anything bad. They clearly like have this child brain, even though they go around with this massive weapon. And I did start to kind of feel sorry for them,
I get that.
especially when they're setting fire to that cabin.
That was harsh.
I was like,
really
oh,
harsh.
he's like a little child.
Yeah, I think he was the child out of the two, wasn't he?
He looks a little scared.
But also,
Yeah.
I thought that was... And also, I was expecting Superman to come in at some point and put the fire out and save him. He just escaped himself.
Superman's not everywhere at this time of day. You know, he's got to be doing his private investigating as Clark Kent most of the time. Not
and all
Superman.
this, Superman can't see through anything. He can't he can't do much, but apart from fly and get shot multiple times and nothing happens to him.
Yes.
So
Yes.
the bit with them on the dam,
Oh yeah, when they're trying to shoot them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because what's funny is because of the mob mentality,
Mm.
it reminded me of Halloween Kills.
Yeah. It does have that kind of feel, doesn't it?
Yeah. That they just
These
go-
are the actual villains of the
Yeah.
film, and that guy was a villain.
He was.
Whatever his name, I can't remember his name. Benson. Yeah. I've got Benson points a gun at sheriff when he hears about the hospital.
Yeah.
It's like,
In the police
it's
station.
like, why aren't you arrested? Who are you? This very small town. It's like
It is.
you can still get arrested for that.
I mean, it's a new population of 1,430.
That's still a lot of people.
That's true, actually.
But if you're pointing a gun at the sheriff, you should get arrested. Stupid Benson.
Yes.
Stupid Benson. I did like the effect of when so I think it's when Superman first appears to the mob, and Benson's pointing a gun at him, and he bends the gun.
Yes.
I thought that's pretty cool effect
Yeah.
for the
And
time.
everyone's like, huh?
yeah, that's very good.
Because I feel like no one knows who Superman is.
Mm.
Because obviously they're in Salisbury or something. And obviously Metropolis is so far away.
so far away. Yeah, yeah. So I
They're
guess
like,
they
who
were-
is this man in
It does feel like
tights?
yeah, even though he looks old, he clearly hasn't been Supermaning for long because the world doesn't seem to know everywhere that he's Superman.
And I love the fact that Clark and Lois went there together, but she has no recollection of where Clark is when Superman is around.
He always does this.
He always just
does
is.
this.
He always says something and runs away.
See, that's why it works when he's got like this very kind of cowardly, stumbling kind of personality as Clark
Yeah.
Kent, because it's like that's something he would do.
Yes.
He wouldn't be there, so you can't really tally up the two. And this
No.
is really strong and confident. I was about to say Bruce Wayne, then Superman.
Superman.
Yeah. So that's why I think they kind of honed down exactly what
Yeah.
the Clark Kent personality should be. So
Do you think the fire
Hmm.
cabin, do you think that was like one of their biggest scenes to film?
probably I mean, it's yeah. I mean, he wasn't actually in the
No, I
fire.
know he wasn't in it. I knew that.
They probably just set fire to a cabin.
And just film. Yeah, true. Actually,
It was all superimposed
It's just
fire
superimposed
inside.
fire. That's
Actually,
it.
no, telling that they probably did set fire just to have some background fire, but they just definitely overlaid some fire inside the cabin.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, if this this mole
Mole
is inside
child.
it, he must be so hot. He must be boiling inside that. He's just in an oven, basically.
It's just it's just an odd scene,
Mm.
and it's quite brutal.
Yeah.
Like setting fire to a cabin with just a person inside and just
I mean, it's quite ahead of its
Watching it
time,
burn.
really, because there's this whole mob mentality of like lynching and
Yeah,
like we
true.
want, and they're saying at points like we want to string him up, we want to string this mole man up. I was like, Jesus,
want to string
It's
them all
like-
up. That's
yeah.
what they want to go down there for.
yeah,
to string them all up.
This social commentary. I mean, I guess it's ahead of its time, and it's talking about like racism and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that holds up
I mean,
more than the mole men do.
Look at America. So
Yeah, yeah. It hasn't changed.
It hasn't
Still
changed.
the same shit.
and we're in the shit too. So.
Yes, exactly. We can't absolve ourselves.
No, we
of that.
can't. No.
No.
Got our own problems. Character-wise, how did you feel about Lois and Clark Kent in?
I don't think their personalities are that defined because I feel like almost they need to swap the personalities of Clark Kent and Lois Lane that they do in this film, because Lois Lane's always the very strong and confident one, where in this...
And a photographer as well, for some reason.
Yeah. And then they do kind of belittle her in this film, apart from that one moment where suddenly she's beating up Benson. I was like, where'd this come from?
Yeah.
She's just like knocking him out.
But she's... Oh, but there was one bit that really stood out. It was when they were talking to the mob, and there's one woman that's trying to say, I was putting my hair up, and everyone interrupts her every single time.
Yeah.
I'm like, I think they're the only two women in it, on the mum and the
And they're
daughter.
both being disregarded. Yeah. But I think that's more a sign of the times than anything.
Yeah, true.
I think, in this modern age, we've come to realise that women are more important.
Yeah.
And they should be listened to.
I think they tried to convey Lois as smart and clever, but the writing just turned her into like a damsel.
Yeah. They do try to make her strong. Yeah.
Like, she starts off quite strong.
Yeah.
And like strong-minded, but
No,
I think then they just ruin it with the more men, and then
Yeah. And people not believing
then
her
she's
and
just in the
stuff.
background for everything else.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. They're not as strongly defined as I like them to be, as I know Clark Kent and Lois are.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's the
as
50s,
they're kind of
so-
just they're catering to the kind of time, the
Yeah.
50s. That's what everyone expects
Yeah.
a characterization to be like at that time.
That's true.
The mole men end up going home, coming back with a big gun. So happy when they're shooting Benson.
They are, yeah.
I was like,
Superman saves him.
But then what are they shoot him with? Glow in the dark.
It was some kind of raid, but at the end of the day,
I was thinking, this is a nuclear powered gun, right? Because that's what we're thinking right now. Everything's nuclear powered. Like they've got like radiation on them. I was like, they're radiating Benson.
yes. But
Maybe not.
Then no, they're not.
I don't know what
it's
they're
just
doing.
literally
Glow in the dark light.
glow in the dark predator blood. I don't know.
But Benson was like, oh, it's hurting me.
It's hurting.
But yeah, at least he got a little bit of comeuppance. I don't know what, I was thinking, he's got cancer now. That's what I was thinking.
Fucking hell, that's dark.
That's
Jesus.
what I was thinking when they were shooting him.
Jesus.
It's like, you deserved it, but I don't know. He got his comeuppance,
Yeah.
and then he apologised to Superman. That was his journey.
You saved me. What did he say? You saved me, and something like, well, I didn't have to.
Yeah, it's like backhand.
Backhand.
Well done, Superman.
I-
Backhand, Benson.
I love it. I think they were shooting Superman, and it was just like over and over and over again. And then he just like, I think he just went, stop that. And they just stopped. I was like-
We're not friends here. Stop this.
and then he picked them up and flew them home.
Yeah.
And then they blew themselves up
I think they blew the hole up.
to trap themselves
blew
on the ground.
themselves
No,
up.
I meant like, but surely that's just going to cave in.
Yeah. And
kill them anyway.
They're dead. They're dead under there. All the rocks are falling
the
in on
rocks.
them. They weren't that far down the hole by the time they blew up.
No, probably not.
But I felt sorry for the mole men.
I did. I think they were just
They're misunderstood.
Exploring.
Yeah, they were like, what is this world become to? Right? And then people just, because they're different, they
which
villainise
is what
them.
Superman tried to say. But
Yep.
also, I think they were probably at peace before they were disturbed, and they were disturbed by the drilling.
Yeah,
So that was our doing.
yeah.
So that's,
I think, and if you think about it, I mean, that's very ahead of
you've
its time.
infracted on their world.
Yeah, we've come over and we're drilling on people's land that's not ours, right? And we're disturbing their land, and then you create chaos and war. This is fucking what happens in the real world, man.
That's true. It's what's happening right now. So.
Yeah, it's happening right now. So, yeah, in that sense, it's ahead of its time, I think,
Yeah, I give you
with
that.
that kind of storyline. And is there anything else to say?
I don't know. Did you notice? Like, I don't know, because I know you've watched quite a few black and white films, and I'm not
Yeah.
the biggest fan of them.
Yeah.
Is there a point where you settle into it and you don't even realise?
Yeah, depending on how good the story is.
Because I think it was 5 minutes in and I forgot it was not in colour.
Yeah. If a story is good, you're going to get into it. It doesn't matter if it's
Yeah.
black and white. You can watch like WandaVision, it's in black and white,
That's true.
and you're still going to engross you. I don't think the colour's the problem. I think it's all that's what puts people off. It's like, oh, it's in black and white. It's like, I'm not going to watch a film like that.
Yeah.
But it's like, if a story's engrossing, it's engrossing. It doesn't matter that the characters in it are older than you by a century or whatever it is, you know. But yeah, if a story's good, a story's good. That's what I feel.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the time is just people running around and chasing, but nothing's been said.
Yeah. Well, cinema's changed. It's like back in the day, seeing someone bend a gun, seeing someone fly off, seeing some test tubes glow. It's like, wow, this is look how cool this is. Look at the effects in this film, and it obviously pales in comparison to what.
And now look how quick they are to judge like bad CGI and bad
exactly. But then the also cool thing about that is you could watch this, and obviously, it's rubbish compared to now, but you can also find some charm in it because you know at that time it was hard to create those things.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it's important to watch films of this age, because it should highlight like the stuff they were doing back then.
They're part of history. They're part of what people learn from when creating more characters and more.
Absolutely.
You know, if you know, James Gunn has taken over DC, he's going to watch these films and just
absolutely.
you know,
see where it's come from.
Done his
I mean, I don't see many mole men in our future, but
no, you never know.
you never know. There might be a really scary mole man that comes out of the ground. I'll be up for that. I think that's all I need to say about this film. It's quite a short film.
It's only an hour.
Yeah.
Which I suppose for that time as well was quite...
Because this is the thing.
Quite decent, actually.
This was almost like it almost acted as a pilot to get the series off the ground.
Yeah,
this
true.
film. So it is a standalone kind of film, but it is kind of a way to get into a series. So it doesn't surprise me it's that short. But I want to know what we're rating this film.
Off you go.
Is it me first?
Yes.
I was surprised by some of the effects in this film. I don't think it's amazing. Like the social commentary, it still kind of holds up to scrutiny. And
can you, when you tell me your score, can you close your eyes? I'm sitting opposite him, by the way, because I want to put how many fingers up that I think you're going to do.
Okay. But at the same time, I was like, well, this, you know, the mole men are a little silly. They're silly, but I also kind of expect it for that time.
Yeah, and they're mute.
But it also is not everything I want a Superman film to be, but that's also kind of what I should expect. I'm going for a 6 out of 10. Oh, I didn't go that low.
Okay.
No, Scott thought I was giving a 5 out of 10. I'm going for a 6. I thought it was fine. I was like, it's a 1950s film. It did what it was supposed to. It's a bit silly, but most 1950 films are, especially if you're doing some kind of sci-fi. But yeah, I had a fine time. How about you?
I completely agree on most aspects. I because of the time, I know dialogue is not that strong, and dialogue is... Films back then are not very talkative. Like now, we are very talk heavy in films, like Oppenheimer and stuff like that. It's 3 hours of non-stop talking. So I think the aspect of all the running around and just listening to the score...
It's an action film, isn't it? At the end of the day? That's what people you should expect.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not 12 Angry Men.
But I just wasn't... Superman wasn't in it enough for me.
Yep.
It should have been Clark Kent and the Mole Men.
Yep.
Or Clark Kent
but also
and
Lois Lane and
the Mole Men.
No one wants to see Clark Kent and the Mole Men.
No, exactly. So, but I appreciate it. It's not the worst that I've ever seen in my entire life. So I'm going to give it a 5.
Okay. I kind of saw that coming. Yeah, nice. Okay, well, so a 5 and a 6 for this film. So that gives us an average of a 5.5. So
Nice.
that actually places it as the lowest film we've ever done.
Oh, God. I mean...
Batman Year One beats it. And that was our lowest. And so does Master of the Phantasm. How do you feel about that?
Fuming. No, actually...
You give them both a 5.
Oh,
so
yeah, I suppose
what
so.
would you put those in order?
I think I'm going to go with... Top, Mask of Phantasm.
Okay.
Then...
I think history would agree with you. Yeah.
Year One, and then we'll go Superman and the Mole Men.
Oh, so you're going year one above Mole Men.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Should we? I kind of want to see what the average is on Letterboxd. See if that you actually agree with you. So, in theory, Batman: Master of the Phantasm gets a 4. Batman Year One gets a 3.5, and I reckon surely Mole Men is going to get lower than that.
3.2.
2.6.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
That is low.
So you're with the rest of the world.
Majority.
Yeah,
yes.
you're with the majority. So, and that's the order we got them on our
That's
ranking.
true.
So,
and you know what? It might be just because I'm not a black and white person, or I'm not into my earlier films as much as other people. So it's nice that we have a contrast.
yeah, of course. Well, that's Superman at the moment.
It is.
That was a nice start to our Superman Lives and Dies season.
I'm looking forward to this one.
Next film, Superman, the Christopher Reeve,
Yes,
first Superman
first
film.
one.
Superman, is it called Superman the movie, or is it
I think
called
it's Superman the movie. I
Yeah,
think.
so that's what we're going to next. But first of all, we've got a question from one of our listeners, and it is Quentin Harrison, and he says, "What will you miss most about the DCEU?" So obviously it's just ended. We just had Aquaman. That was the final film
Yes,
in the
final
DCEU. So
Starting from scratch.
yeah, what will you miss most?
I think because it's been going on for quite a few years now, I think I didn't have a problem with any of the cast. I think it was cast really well.
Yeah,
So it will take a lot for me to see someone else. That doesn't mean I'm not excited about others. Like the casting for Superman Legacy looks incredible.
yeah, absolutely.
And the more and more it's hyping me up for it. But there are certain characters that I adore that I think are perfectly cast already that I will miss. So,
Such as
Wonder Woman.
yes,
And I suppose I do like Henry Cavill as Superman.
I was going to say Henry Cavill. I love Henry Cavill Superman.
Yeah.
I think he's amazing.
So I think I'm up for change, but it would just take me a little while to warm to
adjust to it.
adjust. But I'm excited for like new stories and different stories. I want different characters. I don't want the same characters over and over again, as in like villains and stuff like that. I want something new and fresh.
I mean, I think that's what we know from James Gunn is he likes to kind of mix things up a bit. He always
Gives the
chooses-
underdog a chance.
Yeah, he does. That's exactly what he does, and that's good. That's why I feel we're going to get something fresh. I trust James Gunn. I also feel like this is how we always feel when we hear new casting rumours about characters. It's like, oh, I can't picture
envision
them.
that,
I can't
can I?
envision it,
Yeah.
but then it's like, until you get it, that's when you're going to realise. And I trust James Gunn. But
I mean, I would like to jump in that the fact that Lois Lane being Rachel from The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel,
yeah,
I wanted that before that was announced because I
wow.
think she's perfectly cast as Lois Lane.
oh, amazing.
So I'm very, very excited for
I'm
that.
kind of unfamiliar with her, so I wouldn't really know.
You need to watch Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. It's so funny.
And David Corenswet. Is it David Corenswet?
Yeah,
Yeah.
from
He was in Pearl.
Pearl.
Yeah, that's the only thing I've seen him in.
very attracted to him.
Well, I can see why. I can see why. He's got the curls, like the
He's got the
Superman
curls.
curl. He's got
I'm
the
ready
Superman
for the
curl.
ball cup.
Yeah. A big thing I'm going to miss though is, yes, I'm so obvious, but that we're not going to get any more of the Snyderverse.
Yeah,
I thought, man, the direction. I feel what Zack Snyder did was he really peppered in and layered up the background of each film. So
Yeah.
stuff that's not even really spoken about, but will play a part later down the line. Like, you won't know yet, but the Thomas and Martha Wayne,
Yeah.
the casting of that with Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Lauren Cohen. We have the whole thing of Robin's suit with all the Joker graffiti
all over it,
never
yeah.
explained.
No.
You know, and it's all these little peppering in things that I feel like was going to pay off later down the line to
A
for
bigger
us-
picture.
Yeah, like a massive twist in the tail, and yeah, it's just like layering up the history
Yeah.
of these characters and not necessarily having to go deep into them, but also like, well, it's something we could kind of get into later down the line.
but one thing we got was the Snyder cut of
Yeah.
Justice League, which is one of like the best
Amazing,
films. Yeah.
one of the best ever. Yeah, absolutely amazing, and a lot of people don't think so, but yes, it is amazing.
It did the characters justice and for what they've been through as well. Like, you know,
It did the characters Justice League.
it did. Nicely done. Cheese ball.
Yeah,
I understand what you mean, though.
Yeah.
I think it's just we are. I mean, we are both happy with James Gunn, so at least we know it's in good hands.
Yeah.
But I would like, I don't know, just like a what would have been.
Yeah.
Like I
It'd be
want him to
interesting.
release like, I don't know, like a book or like like something that tells us what his
what the
vision
plans
was.
were. Yeah. But at the same time, I kind of understand this whole universe is soured on people, so I get why we're going a new direction, and I'm happy about it. I'm just happy to see DC films in general.
Yeah,
so,
me too.
So let's see where it goes. And that's it. That's our
That is
answers.
it.
That's our answers. Thanks everyone for listening.
First podcast of 2024.
Yeah. Thanks everyone, and we'll
Thank
see
you.
you with Superman, the Christopher Reeve one. I can't remember what year it is, but it's the first one.
Bye.
Bye bye.